Yo, what up guys, and welcome to another Coach Flarkness video. If you haven't seen this series before, I take PvP gameplay of any DK spec, Frost, Blood, or Unholy, and any PvP medium, 3s, 2s, RBGs, random battlegrounds, any PvP you want to show me. I go over the content and look at what went really right and what might have gone a little bit wrong. Try and give you guys a little bit of help and guidance on how we can improve. There's a lot to learn from these, both from the audience, for you, for me, for everybody as we watch the games go and see what happened to end in a win or what happened to end in a loss. So if you guys have any content for me, always feel free to join my Discord in the link down below and toss a message my way giving me the VOD or any other way you can give me the footage, and I would be happy to go over it. We have a lot of fun on this series, and it's totally open to anybody. The experience is not a requirement. You can be anywhere from 0 to 3k EXP. I think all footage is good footage. I think everybody has room to improve. That's why even the best players in the world continue to practice every day. So anyway, we'll get right into it. Like I said, these are going to be shorter videos. I said that in like the last episode, maybe the one before that. Shorter videos because I want to make more part 1s and part 2s so I can give people a little bit of digestible content and then have them work on it and then see like, okay, well, what did we learn and what did we improve on, and get like a part 2 or a part 3 going. And lo and behold, this is our first part 2 that we're doing. This is NoodleDK, which is actually our first player that we've ever done on this series. So this should be really fun. He gave me 2s to start and this is 3s now. But of course, everybody does all forms of gameplay. So let's get right into it here. Looks like we've got him playing DHDK and it's our Shaman versus Rogue Mage Priest, the classic. So you saw in the beginning there, he ended up running Dark Sim, Zone, and then he's running Conflict, so he has A-Bomb and Necrotic Strike. That's a pretty good set of 4 PvP talents. Conflict is always really good. Conflict and Strife Major is always really good against rogues, obviously, because they try and kill in stuns. Getting that versatility bonus in the stun is good. Having the extra utility is very good against Rogue Mage. I think that's a really good choice. So we'll see how they play this opener. It's always pretty good to get combat. DH can do that with the pull out. DH can sight him and then you can pull the Rogue or the Mage out with A-Bomb. It's like they're electing to play this one. There he is. That's exactly what he did. Good play on that one. So obviously, it looks like the DH probably told him where he was. And he dropped the A-Bomb right there, so he's going to get a pull out on the Rogue. A-Bomb has a huge radius around it that applies for Eon Plague, but what that does is pull people out of stealth. It's much bigger than that icon, too. It's very misleading. So that was a great opener for them. I'm not really sure. I play Frost DHDK, which always runs Heartstop Delirium and runs straight at the Mage. But with Unholy, I think Rogue could get a lot of pressure. Now, obviously, they pulled out the Rogue. I'm not saying that means they're going Rogue, but it could be a good thing. We'll see how they play this in the opener. Obviously, keeping chains on the Rogue after that sprint goes down. You can see that sprint was active on this guy as he runs behind the pillar. That is his maneuverability sprint. So it removes all slows. It suppresses all movement and parrying effects. So right after that, he's actually pretty susceptible when RM Palette does stuff like that. It's pretty hard to punish them because they have so many freedoms, especially with Ineffable Truth. But when RM Priest does that, you can throw chains on the Rogue the entire rest of the game, and he's not going to connect to an R-Shaman who's ghost wolfing around a pillar. So definitely, it would be good for him to keep that in mind. There's a full poly into him. Obviously, committing AMS here is probably a mistake. That is kidney and everything. That looks like claw, maybe 2 claws. The UI is hard to get used to right off the bat. Looks like maybe just claw onto Zokors, maybe trying to get his dispel and then double claw. Let's see if we can find his Omni in here. There it is. So that was Kidney Vendette. Kidney Vendette claw. That's a lot of pressure. I think Darkness is probably safe there, and then Zone for the Combust. So let's see how they play that. Obviously, the R-Shaman is a lot of trouble. DH looked like he peeled. Couldn't tell if Darkness was popped. It looks like no. Yeah, so you can see his friendly cooldowns over here. Right, so no Darkness. Somehow they were able to get out of that pretty solid opener from the Rogue Mage without using anything. So this is putting them in a really good spot. Time to go on the aggression here and light up the Mage. What he's going to want to do is keep freedom. Quality's a little low. Can I fix that? No. That's okay. Keep Chains on the Rogue, like we talked about, does not have maneuver. Then the Ghost Wolfing R Shaman can run around this pillar and not get trained. And Keep Chains on the Mage, of course, because you never want the Mage to ever connect. But now they're going to get a lot of pressure here, and wow, doing a great job with that. Full blind. Not worth trinketing, probably. I don't think he did. So this RMP has not only scuffed their opener, but also blinded for no reason. So they should win this game. I guess we're going to see a win to start. I don't know how. I don't know. They shouldn't lose this game now. Gets Dark Sim. Maybe gets the poly there, so you can see this lights up. Great, honestly, a good interface for this. A little clustered for my liking, but a lot of good information on the screen. So he grabbed Dark Sim. I think he got it on the poly. He has a macro for it. Not sure if that has a show tooltip and is overriding the polymorph that he stole. No, it wouldn't do that. Maybe he didn't get anything. That is Combust, as you can see right here. And immediately zones it. So far, I'm still trying to figure out what went on. I guess that Sim just means it's available. I thought he threw it on Bell. But regardless, a perfect insta-zone on that Combustion. You can see the little Combustion icon right next to the Mage here, or here, or here. My god, okay, maybe a little clustered. It's a lot of information being shown on this screen in multiple places. But hey, it helped him get an immediate zone on this CD here, this Combustion. All magical damage, of course, from the Fire Mage. So you're going to want to zone that, and he did. And that should keep his Arshaman alive, though. His Arshaman's struggling, but should be able to stabilize. Now, let's see what he does end up simming. There's the Pain Sup onto the Mage. It's probably worth swapping over the Rogue here. Disc Priest falls really behind on mana when they have to catch up on multiple targets. But more importantly, when their CDs don't do anything. So when Pain Sup is put down and they don't get any value because the Rogue is low health and Rogue is very squishy, then all of a sudden they use a CD that's supposed to help them catch up and conserve mana and reduce damage, and it didn't because you just swapped over the Rogue. So let's see. Does not elect to do that. I really would. Now he is. Okay. Probably a little late, and there's a maneuver sprint, so it looks like he's going to be okay. Maybe if it was instantaneous, that would have mattered. But it looks like he was going to maneuver sprint anyway, so far I'm still with him. I think this strat is good, and the Rogue Mage wasted blind, and got their Combustion zoned. So I think the DHDK is still pretty far ahead. You can see Gushing, Gatikus, for your own plague. Oh, that's how you play DK. There's a kick onto Ring of Frost. So it looks like he's going to just do everything he can to keep himself mobile. So kicking Ring does not prevent any damage on his Arshaman that's in trouble. But if he's in the ring, then he really can't prevent any damage. Right now he can Asphyxiate, which he's done. He can Chains, and he can Grip behind LOS. Those are the tools that DK has, but he couldn't do any of those things in a ring. So obviously a good kick there. The DH seems to be going Rogue to Peel. This Arshaman is getting rocked. And the Rogue Mage hasn't done anything. Oh my god, is he dead? That's Link. Maybe. No, maybe just a huge heal. That was probably Ascendance. Yeah, there you go, Ascendance. So, honestly, this one's tough because I feel like the DK is doing what he needs to do. I mean, I'd be able to just train Rogue. Rogue has no trinket. Change the Mage and just run at the Rogue with no maneuverability, and that would help your Arshaman stabilize. I think this kind of feels hopeless because the Arshaman is just losing the whole game despite you playing pretty mechanically well and rotating your CDs when you can and getting kicks and asphyxiates to peel. So that might be where it's like, okay, well, this strat might not work because they just got a lot out of him with none of their own CDs. So now I think it's time to go Rogue, have you and the DH train the Rogue, change the Mage and the Priest so they can't follow him, and that will stabilize until your Arshaman has CDs again. I don't think that's going to happen in this game, though. That is a very hard strategy to commit to, leaving a Mage to do with it, whatever. But ironically, if he doesn't have GPI, the Rogue is a bigger problem. Rogues can, like he just did, solo people. All the Mage has to do is blink in and get damage off, but it's the Rogue that is the problem. But he's not going to do that, and they're going to split. And it does not really seem to be the answer. The other thing is you'll be on top of your Arshaman peeling for him, so if he's not in trouble, he should be able to get your CC. Mage is getting demolished here, but the temp... Wow, they get caught with the Dressed. Good play, but unfortunately, that's not going to be enough. Obviously, the temp heals him to full, which means he doesn't even have to block, and it looks like the Arshaman has nothing left. I honestly think the Arshaman's going to die. He has Wall, but no Ascendance, no Zone, no Darkness. At some point this darkness was used. You can see it over here. I'm just looking at the cooldowns. You can see this is something really valuable to look at all game. You know what you need to do as a result of these CDs available. So right now he doesn't have a lot. I think he might be in some trouble. There's a Cauterize. There's the Fear onto the R Shaman. So the R Shaman's still stagnant around half health. Could probably wall here. In a little bit of trouble, like I mentioned before. I still think Rogue is the play. He still doesn't have Trinket for 30 seconds and didn't have that maneuver sprint anymore, so he would be really easy to peel right now. But giving him uptime is just a problem. See, the DH, this is what's really problematic, right? The DH is not the target that should be splitting. The DH doesn't have your reliable slow, and every time the Rogue gets around the pillar, you can no longer chains him. So you are the better one to peel the Rogue when he doesn't have maneuverability. And the DH could probably just either sit him with you, but if you really wanted to split, maybe go Priest and stop him from doing anything. No spites, no purges. You could get mana burns on him, or he could go Mage. I think it's double Rogue or maybe a Rogue Priest split. But you should be on the Rogue. The DH shouldn't be on the Rogue. The DH can't do anything. He can Fel Eruption him, but you can asphyxiate. He can't slow, you can. So it's just probably the wrong strat here, and I think the R Shaman's going to get punished for it soon. Now you're ringed and he's getting demolished. I'm not saying this game's over, but it doesn't feel like this is gonna do it. Maybe the game is over. Let's see. Ascendance, no. Wall, no. Trinket, no. Link, yes, but his teammates... I think the game just ended. That R Shaman is looking dangerously low. Let's take a look. It's like the... What's that? That freeze frame. I bet you're wondering how I got here. Yeah, so the R Shaman is in that situation right now. Pyroblast coming in, Rogue untouched, has chains on him, but maneuvering it again because we're not switching to him. Rogue untouched is about to murder this guy. I think it might be over. I'm watching their gate counterspell, he's dead. Okay, so, yeah, so I think the answer here is Rogue. Mechanically, you honestly played extremely well. So that feels bad, right? You zoned Combust, you kicked well, you asphyxiated to peel, you kept chains on the targets that you could. The Priest really wasn't in line. You did your rotation well, you got caught. Through temp with addressed, great pressure, probably did a lot of damage. But I think this one just comes down to the strat, and I'm to blame too here. I really like going Mage in this matchup. But Frost, I think, can get away with that because the Mage is always dead. And he can never double blink and finish your R Shaman like he's about to right now. Also, if both of you are going him, then you can get grip blind setups and you stop everybody instead of just the Mage. But you, unfortunately, were stopping just the Mage. So I can't say that that was quite as good. While I think the Rogue had a lot of windows that he could die. I see an Asphyxiate out on him. This guy's counterspelled for 5 more seconds, and like I said, the Mage can just double blink in and kill your R Shaman, which he's probably about to do. Oh my god, he could live! He says, as he dies. Alright. So, there you go. Ironic, that's actually interesting. I don't actually have enough time to watch these beforehand, nor do I want to, because I want to react to it in the moment. But that was a good call for me. I'm actually proud of that one. But it's not that good, because any R Shaman, I mean, anybody at 20, I bet you they were probably saying, if I listened to a sound on, he was probably like, oh, you're probably dead in the next go. Or the R Shaman's probably saying, dude, I'm dead in the next go. We lose, we lose, we lose. They probably know it too. I don't think that one was a hard one. He had no Ascendance, no Wall, no Trinket, no Voodoo Tote. I think it's just Rogue. Again, mechanically, very good game. And you rotated your CDs, you were instant on that zone, and just a lot of good mechanical play. It feels bad to go Rogue there, because the Mage is just doing whatever. I think it's the play. I think it's the play. I think you guys destroy him. Every time Maneuver goes down, and he has no Trinket, Fel Eruption double dressed is a kill, and Chains, your R Shaman never gets touched. So, believe me, I'm at fault there too. I really do like going Mages. I really, really do. But Unholy DH shreds Rogue, and we both got to get that one in here in our thick skulls, right? So, okay, here we go. There's the next game. Let's take a look at the talent choices. We got, oh, love this comp. Espriest and Holy DK R Shaman. That's the one I want to play more of this season. So you've got Zone and Decomp Aura. Switch that out, right? No. No, I would have to disagree with that one. Decomp is only really good as the DPS option when you're playing with a melee. Necrotic Aura gets so much value with all the magic damage in the game right now. I mean, he has Gushers, he has Lash of the Void. DH just has Chaos damage. I mean, I understand Decomp has a lot of value, but just the raw pressure you get from Necrotic Aura seems hard to match. I don't know. I never really ask myself, what is the increased pressure of them having 15% less health to go through? I think not a lot against this. And I think that's more impactful when you're playing a burst-heavy comp, like Windwalker DK that would use Decomp Aura anyway, because then you're trying to kill in those exact goes, so having less health to go through is extremely impactful. DH is more sustained damage. I think Necrotic Aura is the play. Maybe he swaps it? No. Okay, I think Necrotic Aura is the play, Noodle. I think I would use Necrotic Aura there. I'm fairly certain I would use Necrotic Aura as DHDK. I mean, I used it as Frost DHDK. I don't see why it would change too much as Unholy, but I don't know. I haven't given that a lot of thought, but now that I am, I still believe it would be Necrotic Aura. Maybe feel free to say in the comments why you prefer Decomp or what luck you've had with it. I see the enemy DK is using Decomp too, but I don't care. I don't think that answers the question I care about. So here's his opener. He gets the A-bomb down. The roots come out from the Archon, and that's a real buzzkill. I hate that feeling. I think it might be worth to asphyxiate Esprit right in the beginning to deal with the potential fade and then root A-bomb. Asphyxiate, then grip him back if he fades out of it, since you would have to trinket fade, which is good to getting trinket fade right in the opener. Now he may be able to hold those things. Yeah, that kind of generally feels bad. They're going to run right at the Arshaman. He's clawed, stunned silence. It's time to peel, obviously. This matchup is tough. Arshaman Esprit's DK is a fantastic comp that can at any time kill a healer in a stun to silence combo, because they both have Gushing, VT and Outbreak, and Necrotic Aura. Oh, he's not running it because... No, he is running it. He's running Necrotic and Decomp. Oh, that's actually a pretty scary one. When you run Conflict and Strife, Necro and Decomp as an Esprit's DK. Oh, that's disgusting. Your Arshaman not only gets the stun silence combo on them and is taking more damage as a result, and has double Gush, Vampiric Touch, and Wounds, but he also has 15% less health that they have to go through. So that's going to be really scary. How do you answer that? Good zones. Where are you running that? Yes. Good zones on A-Bomb, if they connect to him. Rotate Zone and Darkness perfectly. Wall, Zone, and Darkness should be enough for each and every single one of the goes. And never let Esprit set up anything. Reverse dots, reverse claws, rotate kicks, pet stun a kick, a Vampiric Touch. Just don't let him ever have VT on your Arshaman. It is so much more devastating when VT and Pain is on him than just Pain. It's doubling the dot damage from the Esprit. So that's how you answer it. Right now you're going DK because you're scared. I feel that. Terrible play here. Bad dress. Was that your dress? That was panic, my brother. I hate to say it, that's panic. I feel it. I've been there. That is a panic situation. No reason to swap to the DK here besides the chains. It's not like going him is going to do anything. The asphyxiate should have been on the Esprit, and that looks like dressed into 1,000 pets, and then he AMSs all your pressure off. I think, why are we going? Definitely Esprit. Definitely Esprit. I mean, it could still work, but it shouldn't. It should not. You're just okay, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to make another prediction. If we go DK the entire time, all the Esprit needs to do is set up VTs. The DK doesn't have to set up anything, but the Esprit needs to set up VTs. If he gets it rolling on you, gets into Void form, every stun silence combo is fatal. But if the VTs don't come out, and he can't get Void form, and he can't get everything active that he wants to get rolling, then the stun silence combos are actually peelable. I'm assuming this was just a panic situation. She's like, holy shit, they did so much damage in the opener. But I really hope we don't go DK very much more. Okay, good. Oh, look at the cleave now. Okay, so he kicks that VT. This is great play. Kicks that VT. That's Vampiric Embrace for the S-Priest. A lot of stuff coming out here. Probably going to be either Fade or Disperse. So looks like they ended up seeing the swap and they got it. I'm not actually sure why the S-Priest is dying so hard. That maybe was the DH. Yep, so if you see in the bottom right corner here, that is 52k DPS. So probably a lot on pets, but also a lot on that Shadow Priest because he's getting rocked. So really good heads-up play to swap back. I think he was going on the DK now that I think about it because the DK hadn't AMS'd. So now they're going to have a lot of cleave pressure. So this is where the part where I say I could learn something too when I mentioned that in the intro. That ended up being pretty good because of the S-Priest positioning. Let's see what they're able to get. Ascendance Fade. Great stuff. So the DK's pressure didn't end up mattering because of Ascendance, but just a great heads-up swap back off the DK over to the S-Priest, who was getting rocked by the DH, and now they're in a much better situation, so time to sit on the S-Priest the entire time. Grips the Chain Heal. That was Aura Mastery casted, so obviously that made no sense, but that's fine. They're changing the DK, trying to let his Arshaman get away. I see the value of that. I don't think it's worth going him still. With no Mortal Strike, Death Strikes are going to be very, very high self-sustain. And again, if the S-Priest DK plays this right, they should be able to get goes on your Arshaman all the time now. He has no Fade either. Really would love a swap back to the S-Priest here. There's a kick onto the Hex. Good play there. Arshaman dead. Okay, so this is where that kind of snowballing pressure is starting to become a problem. I think the S-Priest is still 100% the answer, and just changing him and getting him from ever setting up on your Arshaman means that the DK shouldn't be able to solo him, especially with Ghost Wolf, maybe Roots running around the pillar. We still have Darkness and Zone, I think. Yep, Darkness, Zone. So you guys are okay on CDs. Just get this S-Priest off of him. They're just... oh, boy. Okay, well, there's an Ascendance, right? There's the Ascendance. So, okay. This one's hard to keep up with. There's a lot going on, especially on his screen. There's Disperse, though. So, I'm probably nitpicking their target choices a little too hard, because they do end up finding their way back to the S-Priest and keep getting CDs. It seems like they're swapping back to the S-Priest, getting CDs, and swapping over to the DK to peel, swapping back to the S-Priest to get CDs. Just feels like he has a lot of unnecessary pressure on him. We saw him die in the last one, and now he's getting rocked in this one, though Ascendance was enough. They still have Darkness and Zone this time around. Maybe I'll nitpick the target choice a little less. Let's see how they move their target swaps back and forth before I decide that that's a bad idea. The Arshaman is getting rocked by that DK, so I can see why that feels like a problem, but also with no Mortal Strike and no VTs, no Silence, nothing from the S-Priest. I mean, look how easy he was able to top himself. I mean, that was a 400k heal. So, I think I've got the right idea with this, but maybe so do you guys. There's the Stun Dressed. There's a grip on the Healing Surge. Okay, everything's coming together now. So after that go, that was very panic-induced. Now the mechanical play is coming alive. So you saw he was able to stun the Arshaman, get some pressure on the S-Priest as a result. S-Priest has no Disperse, and he saw that. Then he's able to grip the Arshaman's next cast and dress the S-Priest. As solo dressed, it looks like this. It's very close. But right as the Arshaman gets away, the solo dressed is huge there. And just keep rotting these two, and they're getting a ton of pressure. Hopefully they can convert this into a win. There's Fade again. And Link. And he kills it instantly, so you see a lot of fantastic mechanical play coming out right now. Like, wow. So, stuns on the Shaman, stops a cast, grips the next cast, solo dress the S-Priest, and immediately kills the Link that he got here. DH now going over the Arshaman, maybe a little bit of a split strat. Now they're way ahead. They still have Darkness and Zone. Maybe I overreacted to the initial go. It's very difficult to see how the entire, since I'm trying to react in the moment, is this correct? I mean, if I was playing the game, I'd be like, yo, dude, get off the DK, we have to come S Priest. We have to go S Priest. So that's what I was kind of doing mid-game here, but they're really only on him for a few seconds, and the swap backs seem to cause a lot of pressure when the R-Shaman maybe doesn't have Earth Shield, maybe he doesn't have Hots, and they on the S Priest, so he's able to get a lot of pressure there. So seems pretty reasonable. Kick on that VT would have been nice, but I'm not sure if he had it up. There's the wall from the R-Shaman. Definitely worth sticking to the S Priest here. You'll be able to keep everybody active, and you have AMS in 16, so I don't think you're really in a position to chase the walled R-Shaman. Let's see if he goes back. There he goes. Got the memo when the R-Shaman was halfway across the map. Insta-kill on that Scythe, so you can see. Let's talk about that a little bit for some of the newer viewers. Somebody who's less experienced. So the Spirit Link that he killed, that is the totem from the R-Shaman that splits their health between them. That's a really good defensive cooldown because whoever is in trouble gets the health from the other one instantly. So that is a really good situation to target the totem and kill it. Because when you kill that totem, it stops working. Now, there's a lot of other interesting dynamics like that in the game. In this case, Scythe puts a huge mortal strike on the target, does some damage as well. Damage is kind of negligible, but the mortal strike is big. But you can kill the Scythe and he stops doing that. So you target these little effects, and you're going to get used to them as you play. NoodleDK here doing a fantastic job getting those instantly. The Scythe killed instantly, the Link killed instantly. So heads up player, good mechanical play. I think that's going to be the theme with this highlight, or VOD review rather, so I'm trying to find as many ways as I can nitpick. I'm certain about the Rogue being the target, and I'm pretty sure that the DK is never going to be the target here. So those would be my nitpick things for maybe the opener, but I'm not convinced that the amount of time they spent on the DK was very detrimental. It looked like it in the beginning, but their swap backs were so good. Anyway, the Scythe goes down, and now he's just going to stay on the Shadow Priest here. The R-Shaman's in a lot of trouble, and I'm not sure why. Why is he dead? Oh dear. Oh dear, they have Zone and Dark. I was just commending them for being so far ahead. Link, Zone, and Darkness. How does that happen? Let's see what sets this up. That's a buzzkill. Let's see if we can just watch the R-Shaman for a second. Silence. Silence at half health. What did I say? I mean, the R-Shaman should never be in line here. He should be sticking around the other side of the pillar. But I know, it's crazy. So this comp, if you guys are looking, now see? More DK information right here in this video. DK, Shadow Priest, R-Shaman. Insane, dude. Every single stun to silence cut go is a potential kill. Now, obviously, we're about to see the fateful truth, and Noodle knows it. There is absolutely something they could have done. The second the silence comes in at half health, I'm sure the R-Shaman is screaming that he's silenced. He's blanketed, is what that's called, blanket silence. It's not very many of them left in the game, but Shadow Priest has one. That's the time to Zone or Dark. I mean, either one of you save his life there if we press it. He still has Link and Voodoo Totem coming out of that silence. Oh, you hate it. Oh, you hate to see it. Oh dear. He has everything. He has Link, Voodoo Totem, Sheer. So there's not a lot of things that they could do. Voodoo Tote in a zone, and he's 100% health. You don't even need the Dark. You don't even need the Link either. Which means you still have Dark and Link, which means this game you guys win. So right back here, when the silence comes out, he says, I'm blanketed, just like you insta-zone the combust. This is actually really good advice. So this is good. This one's going to be really good. So I was a little nitpicky before. The rogue target call is a little tough, and I'm not sure the DK in the beginning, even though that opener was a little shaky, I don't think that lost you the game, but this is really good advice. Treat that stun silence go with as much diligence as you've learned for that insta-zone on combust. That insta-zone on combust, that's like clockwork in your head. That is so mechanically sound. This is the same. It is just as dangerous, if not more so. That stun silence combo from DK Priest. As soon as that blanket comes in, you insta-zone the blanket. I mean, you guys have Zone, Darkness, Link, to rotate, right? So you have to find a way for one of you to be able to rotate those things effectively. So you say, okay, next on silence go, I'm going to insta-zone it. Because you know he's scared. He doesn't have Ascendance, so he could have trinketed it for sure. But damage prevention, once they've set up on him, is so much more valuable than a trinket. Now, to be fair, any one of you could have done this. I'm not giving you guys shit. Trinket Link, Darkness Insta, or Zone Insta all work, right? But none of those things happened. So what's the question is not who to blame, but how do you fix it for the next time, right? We're not saying who do we blame. Oh, it's Noodle's fault. He could have zoned. No shit. Everybody could have pressed something. You don't say who to blame. You say, what do we do next time? And what I think you do next time is the second the guy gets to half health and he gets blanketed, zone it. So right here, there's the Asphyxiate. They're going to do this every time. Asphyxiate, you can see it right on the R-Shaman, guys. Let's dial that back one more time for everybody at home. I got to use my mouse better here for this. There's the shear onto him. That doesn't matter. It's the Asphyxiate. See it? There it is. Asphyxiate right out of this. He's going to get a little lower. That's just going to set up. He's like, well, dude, you didn't even take any damage in the Asphyxiate. That doesn't matter. That's to set up his CDs so he can start spamming Necro. What really matters? Silence. Silence. There it is. He took a huge damage from the Dressed, gets silenced on it right about at this health, then gets crushed because all of their CDs are rolling. That's what sustained damage does to a team. So stunned here, Dressed down to this health, silenced right at here, and he was at about 60 or 70% health. The zone comes down insta, just like you would for Combust. He Voodoo's out. He is completely fine. He sits in the zone with Voodoo and Spirit Wolf on himself. I think that is the optimal play. Again, he could Trinket Link. You could Fel Rush over an Insta Darkness, but zone at a range is the most powerful cooldown you have to respond to that situation, and this is a DK Revod review. I spent a lot of time talking about that, but that I think is going to be the best coaching point we have for this entire video, so we might as well get something real good out of it, because that is one of the things that I've struggled with the most. It's like all three of you have something to do, but nobody does it, and then you lose. But it's like, what should you have done? Rather than just think about like, oh my god, we had everything, dude, we suck, you suck, I hate everybody. It's like, what is the best thing to do? And you get those clockwork mechanics, just like you incorporated with Rogue Mage. Okay, I promise I'll stop talking about it, but that's a really good point. There comes the Darkness and he's dead. Feels so bad, dude. He put the Voodoo Tote down. That's what he wanted to do. Obviously, it's never going to save him at 1% health. But if that Darkness came in a little earlier, it might have been a different story. I know, that one hurts. That one hurts. Yes, ponder it. Oh, feels so bad. You guys all had CDs. I know it, dude. It hurts. Let's see, what time are we at here? 32 minutes. Uh-oh. One more video? I'm sorry, I've only had two and they're both... I'm sorry, dude. I did not intend that. I just got really invested in that game. Let's get a W here. I could feel it. You know, are you on EU or NA? I swear I've played into this jungle that you played into. Their names look so familiar, but you might be EU and I might be forgetting. No, that's Hunter XD. Yeah, I played into this guy. Oh, we played into this guy in spite of the priest and won. Yo, just fight the priest and win. Just switch to Frost, fight the priest and win. Okay, so what they're going to want to do here is... Oh, well, they could just kill the priest. Unholy Shreds Disc. I think you could just kill the priest and rotate defensives. Like, Dark and Link are huge here. So is Ascendance. And you have Purge. I really hope they just go priest. Oh, sick, dude. They're doing it. Okay. So... Oh. Okay, so they have tools. So, obviously, what jungle does is they do stuns into trap, and then they stun the kill target, and they double dress them or double bike him. That's what jungle does. Stun into trap on the healer over here. Stun, dressed, bike on this guy. But you have blur. You can meta the bike. You can dark. You have tons of leech shields off of all the pets. They have trinket, voodoo, ascend, link. There's just so many tools they can rotate. What the Arshaman should do should be on top of you guys, spamming purge on the priest while all three of you play insanely aggressive. Doesn't matter if he's there. What is he worried about? You're just stopping. Okay. I'm gonna give you the secret sauce, dude. Legit, this guy needs to come stand right here, right? So they try and kill you in dressed goes and CC goes. They're not trying to kill you by like cleaving you to death. They're not gonna, oh shoot, I'm in melee range against jungle, I'm gonna get cleaved to death. You guys win the cleave war every time. If all 6 players are stacked in a pile, you guys win. So the dressed gets reduced by having more targets. That's huge. You guys can soak that. 1 more target ain't bad there. Yeah, they can break CC trying to get their goes off. You can be in melee range for the reverse. He can be melee range for the reverse. He can be melee range for the darkness if they swap to him. He can spam purge. He doesn't get kited or lined. That's another thing, right? He's going to get trapped back here. The priest will run you line of sight. You should have him right on top of you. Then when he gets trapped, the priest can't run you line of sight, and he can top you once you get out of the trap. So I don't know what's going to happen in this game. I could have just said exactly what's about to happen. But in the likelihood that that's not what's going to happen, for the next game, anytime you guys ever see a disc jungle, this man right here, this blue guy, chases him. Now let's see what happens. Too much to say, dude. I'm talking too much in this one. Here comes a lot of pressure onto the Disc Priest here. He's rooted here. This should be a dispel from the Arshaman. They're running at the Arshaman. The Arshaman should be on you. So good if the Arshaman's on you. Here he comes. Here he comes. Yes! There's the AoE stun. He brings him in for the AoE stun. It's going to be huge peels for him. You can darkness at any time. You can reverse at any time. That's just really good. Now you guys can purge spam. You should have a lot of damage. You see he kicks penance. That's very powerful. You should alternate kicks. One person kicks penance, the other person kicks shadow. Or you could only kick holy. You guys have 3 kicks. You could only kick holy unless he gets low, and then you shear shadow. But if you only kick holy, he runs out of mana in 2 seconds. If he can never get a penance or a smite off, he runs out of mana in 2 seconds. You could also be mana burning him. Oh my god, you guys have so many win conditions against this. Make sure to keep chains on this guy. How much he's moving is a problem. Oh my god, he's maimed. Is this dark? Comes out and ascends. Oh my god, please dark. Please, I don't want to see a loss. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Is he trapped, dude? Reverse? Dark on him? I'm getting mad. Okay, so let's dial it back a little bit. Right. So maybe a little bit more. See, this is not DK anymore. I mean, you should have chains on the priest at all times. Obviously, that's a common one. It sucks when he moves around because he can do more when he's moving. Maybe chains the feral and the hunter so that the Arshaman can just freely run at the priest like what he's trying to do. Your DH needs to insta reverse the trap. Is there anything else you could do? The Nova and the Feller option is probably enough stuns on the priest, and they're both running. These guys are running Relent. This guy's no trinket. You could be stunning feral instead of priest, and the stuns from the DH should be enough. You need to grip him back into the darkness. As he asphyxiate. Maybe they just kill him here. Spam purge. Dressed. Pet stun. Oh my gosh. So he's getting a lot of pressure here. AMS to stay aggressive is a no-brainer right now. You never want to get feared or trapped. The Arshaman is clearly the target, so you never want to get feared or trapped. AMS, I would press that right here since you see this guy's health bar. Got a good kick there, and pet stuns the cast. A lot of good stuff going on. Please keep chains on him. The Arshaman still has Link, which is his last line of defense. You guys are running really far behind on CDs. There's a lot of other stuff going on your team that's not quite you, but a little bit you. I still think Asphyxiate goes into the off targets, like the Feral when he has no trinket, and lets your Arshaman stabilize. That's Barrier. The triple cap comes out. Great play from your Arshaman here. Now we kick Holy Spells. You guys have 3 kicks. I think it's time to start shearing Shadow. There's a kick from you on Shadow. He hasn't been able to cast anything. That's going to be Rapture. Okay. You guys are getting every CD in the game, but it looks like it might be too late. Your Arshamans might come out of that main. If he does, you get the link. You're feared away. Oh, you get the link. So, strategy, success. You guys 100% lose the game if the Arshaman isn't on top of you. He had like 40 frames to get that link off. If he doesn't get it insta, he's dead, right? So the strat is working for you guys. I'm glad that you ended up doing what I kind of ranted about before I even saw the video. Saved your life there, 100%. You guys have another window to win now. He has no Rapture, no Pain Sub, no Barrier. He has a Claw on him. You kick him on Penance, he can't Dispel. So here's a Penance going off, you can't Dispel. Make sure Chains is on him at every second. And Stun, as soon as that DR goes off, he should be completely dead. They should not be able to set up a go before you win the game. There's the Chains, Vitality Conduit, pretty frustrating. DH for some reason in trouble, but uses Blur. You can see he's using that. You use AMS to stay aggressive. Great play there. I absolutely agree with that. It would be a real tragedy if the Demon Hunter somehow died after all this. You're getting all the pressure that I expect. You're playing extremely mechanically well again. I think there's some utility problems on the team that you guys can address. But mechanically, I think all three of you are really solid, but from the DK perspective, which I play and know is going well, mechanically you are a good player. I think you guys still should win this. There's the stun. Your DH needs to get to him, dude. Chains needs to fall back. Is that call? That's Roar of Sack, so definitely make sure Chains is still on him. I don't know why everybody's split up. I think that's another panic edition. Having all three of them on top of each other just gives them more lead shields anyway. There he is. Okay. There's the Chains as well. Has to grip, though. That always feels bad. There's a kick on Penance. Now you shear Shadow Man and kick the next one. He should die. Come on, boys. Bring it home. Spam Purge. Kick it. Let's go. Okay. So, tough game. Glad I got to see a win. You guys did do the strat. Oh my god, the Arshaman's dead. You guys win the 2v2, right? Oh, he's fine. Okay. Well done. Big damage. So, this was good, actually. This was a very, very good. I know I only got 3 games in. I'm sure you won a lot after this. Don't worry, there'll be a part 3. I'm not trying to highlight your losses. You are a very sound mechanical player. The damage, very good. The kicks on point. That zone on Combust was fantastic, but I think some of the strat stuff that you guys have to commit to and learn from is going to be what pushes you guys to the next level. Like, I straight up, that I don't know where you guys ended on the end of this Q session. I'm not going to spoil myself because I like to do a part 3 of this, but that's the difference between 24, maybe 26, maybe 27. Because those games are all super winnable with how mechanically well you're playing. So all you have to do is figure out, okay, what are the strats we commit to? Disc Jungle was a little sloppy. A little bit more committed with that strategy in the beginning, knowing what to reverse, knowing how to stay in, making sure Chains. The priest should never move. He should never move. He should be in one place, outside of Master's Call, one place the entire game. And that's what puts him so far behind, because all 3 of you are stacked on top of him, cleaving. As soon as you guys get a little spread out, it gets a little less powerful. But those are the types of things that I think bridge the gap from 24 to 26. If you already got 26, congratulations. Hopefully you did a lot of those things. If not, you could probably get even higher. If you're still at around 24, that I think is the difference. We'll look at part 3 to see if more of those things could be worked on. Mechanically, fantastic. Kicks are good. Rotation is good. Understanding of CDs is good. The user interface shows a lot of good information. I'm sure if I could listen to comms, there would be a lot of good stuff going on as well there. You can just kind of see these guys are at this Gladiator level. But to get them to the next level, that's the kind of stuff I'm thinking of. So, Noodle, thanks again for the videos. I'm trying to make sure I am as critical as possible because I know that you're already a good player. So if I just talk about how you know your Unholy rotation, I don't think you're ever going to get anything out of it. So I hope this was able to help. Really good stuff going on here. And I hope you guys farmed out those Gladwins. That's the title of the Gladwin farming. So 2 hours of Gladwin farming, I bet you get a lot of them in there. I mean, you're right on the cusp of it right here. So I'm sure there's a lot more for the part 3. Thanks again for letting me use this. You're a fantastic, good sport, good player. And hope to see you soon, buddy.